What's up, Ragin Nation? How y'all doing? This is Alex and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review. It's been a long time since I reviewed a movie. That's why I'm reviewing a movie that came out a long time ago. And that movie's Ted. And I saw this movie last week, and when I saw the trailer for Ted, I felt like I gotta watch this movie because not only do I like Mark Wahlberg, but Seth MacFarlane included in the trailer some content that really sold me. And that is this teddy bear doing some very non-kid friendly stuff. And well, a teddy bear is a kid's toy. We all had one as a kid, and he's doing things like cursing and getting into raunchy shenanigans and getting himself intoxicated. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because when you're walking into the theater, you kind of know to expect that because we saw it in the teaser. Let me tell you something, it is so much more than that. Like, that is just a fraction of what he really does in, like, if we're talking about all the crazy stuff that Ted is able to do. There is so much more, but you know what? I'll get into that later. Let's talk about the story. The story in a nutshell is really about the character of Mark Wahlberg. I forgot his name. He has a girlfriend that loves him, and they're about to get together, you know, but one thing that is not making him grow up is his best buddy, and that is Ted. Ted came to life because he made a wish, and because of that, Ted kind of matured as Mark Wahlberg's character matured, and they've become buddies, drinking buddies, getting high buddies, wingmen, and all kinds of stuff that you would think that any other human buddy can do. And that's what's so great about this movie, because Ted is a character that you don't think of as a teddy bear. Like, that's just a kind of like a visual aspect. It's kind of like a visual gag. But really, deep down inside, he's very much like a human, and that is the beauty of this movie. Seth MacFarlane's direction really makes you forget that Ted is just a teddy bear, but he's able to do all these things that a human can do. But what this movie really comes down to is really about something that we deal with every day, and that is choices. And the choice that Mark Wahlberg has to deal with is a choice that really audiences can connect with all the time, and that is deciding between A or B, but not both. And that A and B is A is Ted and B is his girlfriend, and the ultimatum is that Mila Kunis' character wants Mark Wahlberg to choose between Ted and her, but not both of them. They can't have both. And that was the aspect of the movie that brought it home for the audience, and especially for me, because we've all been in these kind of situations. And you know, this is the very human story. When you have a movie that is visually driven, you know, it's got a lot of visual gags and a lot of I guess action, you got to have a human story. You got to have that little thing that really makes the audience connect with the characters and the story, and that is making those choices. But what really is great about this movie is Seth MacFarlane's ability to bring Ted to life. And you know, Michael Bay did that with Transformers. You know, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee were really larger than life, and we really saw them. Well, Ted is the next best thing, and a lot of directors have done this before in a lot of other movies where they had animals and creatures as the main characters, or as at least supporting characters. But I really think that Seth MacFarlane took it to the whole other level, because Ted is able to do all these things that are like teddy bear impossible. It's like they're humanly possible for a human, but it wouldn't be possible for a teddy bear, but he's able to do it, and we don't question it at all. Because you're probably thinking, wait a minute, why is Ted able to get a job? Like why is he even in an interview? But then, when you're watching the movie, you just accept it. You don't question it. You just let it go, and you just laugh. And that's the great thing about this movie. You forget that you're watching a teddy bear, but he's able to do everything and anything that a human can. And you know, Seth MacFarlane really takes it to the next level with all the crazy things that he is able to do. And I keep on saying that about this movie, but that's really what it is. Not only that, but he's able to emote, like convey emotion, and he's able to be all kinds of characters and personalities. Ted is, at some points in the movie, he's a jerk, he's insensitive, but at other times he's like the greatest friend. You know, he's a really great friend to Mark Wahlberg's character. And you know, these are the traits and characteristics of a human. I want to talk about a scene to you. I want to tell you about this scene, which I really felt was kind of almost like beautiful in a way, because okay, it's the scene between it's a fight scene between Mark Wahlberg and Ted. And when you think of a fight scene between a human and teddy bear, you think that you know, a human will grab the teddy bear, throw it around, and then, you know, the human wins, right? but it's completely the opposite. And when you watch a fist fight between Ted and Mark Wahlberg, it's really funny. It is funny as hell. It's funny as hell for the first minute, but as it goes on, you're thinking, okay, am I supposed to be laughing or am I supposed to feel uncomfortable? Because this is getting pretty violent and the shit's about to get real. Pardon the French, but I kind of slipped. Like, that scene was actually getting more and more and more violent, and I think like, as I was watching it, I was feeling a little uncomfortable because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to laugh, because there's this scene where Mark Wahlberg couldn't defend himself, and Ted is using his furry paws, and he's just going like this, like ground and pound style. But you know, normally you'd think that it's soft, it wouldn't hurt, but they add in these sound effects like the psh, 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 and it just goes on for a very long time, and you feel like a human is beating another human like to a pulp, okay? And that's the exact feeling that you feel when you watch that movie, and that is the beauty of this movie, because Ted wouldn't have been able to do something like that, but with Seth MacFarlane's direction, you know, he was able to do a very crazy and violent scene, and that's the great thing about this movie. It makes this movie so much more unique than all the other things, than all the other movies we've seen with scenes like this. So when you feel that kind of feeling, you know, the same feeling that I felt when I watched the fight scene, you know you're watching a very extraordinary movie, and it's to the point where if something bad happens to Ted, you go, oh my god. You know, like, why did it have to happen to a character we ended up loving? And when I say, you know, you love the character of Ted, I don't just mean like, I love the character of Ted. I don't mean that. I mean you really, really love this character. You really just like fall in love with it, and you really connect with it, and you feel that this is a great character that has been written so well. So that's all I gotta say about this movie. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it, and it was a laugh out loud comedy. I can't wait to get this movie on Blu-ray, just because I want to see those special behind the scenes features on how they made Ted come to life. Anyways, there's my review, 8 out of 10, and I got a couple of other movie reviews coming out. I'm going to be watching The Dark Knight Rises in 3.5 hours, but I got a review for Magic Mike coming up, and also Savages, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation, also follow me on Twitter, The Ragin, at Ragin Nation. So like my Facebook page, The Ragin Nation, and also follow me on Twitter, at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex, and thanks for watching The Ragin Ronin review. I'll see you next time. Peace. Disagree with that. What's great about the first hour of the movie is you see the transition of Peter Parker not becoming Spider-Man, but becoming another version of himself.